Lightyear begins by explaining that in 1995, Andy received a Buzz Lightyear toy. The action figure was based on the character from his favorite movie, and Lightyear is that movie. I think really the only problem I had with that is that the movie just isn't very 90s. As the movie began, I noticed very quickly that it was definitely a kid's movie. However, there were also certain things that would be difficult for a child to understand, like the part where they explain that Buzz ages slower when he's trying to achieve hyperspeed, because when he's traveling at a different speed than someone else, then he ages differently. I thought that was something fairly complex to be included in a kid's movie. Another thing that I noticed is that they did a great job capturing Buzz's personality while also showing a little different side of him. For example, just like in Toy Story, Buzz is seen as someone who takes himself a little too seriously, or at least that's how the other characters feel towards him. This is shown right at the beginning when Buzz is narrating their every move in the mission log, and Alicia Hawthorne makes fun of him for it. He's also very independent, and he spends half the movie trying to do everything by himself. I think this was something I actually associated very strongly with in Buzz. I kind of have that same personality a little bit. I tend to have a hard time trusting other people, and I want to do everything myself. So I kind of felt his pain as he struggled to learn how to work with other people and stuff like that, because that's something that I struggle with myself. I also thought the movie had very strong Star Wars vibes. Traveling at hyperspeed is like jumping to hyperspace, and the fuel crystal breaking is like the hyperdrive breaking. In fact, getting stranded on a planet because your hyperdrive doesn't work is straight out of the Phantom Menace, and there is also other references to hyperdrive issues just littered throughout the entire Star Wars franchise. The laser swords they use are kind of like lightsabers, and Socks, the cat robot, is like R2-D2. There's actually a lot of parallels here. Socks can do just about everything, including relaying messages, using a blowtorch, speaking, and a lot of other things. I think the way Socks helps solve problems is similar to R2, and a lot of his mannerisms are as well, like when his head spins around or when he can plug into computers. Then there's also the fact that Buzz is given socks by Alicia, and that scene reminded me of Leia sending R2 to Obi-Wan in A New Hope. And then there's also the scene where Socks gets knocked over by Mo, and then when he reboots, he relays a message from Alicia. There are very strong parallels there to the recording that Leia made for Obi-Wan. Not necessarily in the content, but mainly just visually it is similar. And then finally, Zurg is clearly inspired by Darth Vader, and his robots are like stormtroopers. Overall, I thought this movie was better than I expected, but it absolutely had its flaws. Part of this might be because it was a kid's movie, but I thought it was kind of anticlimactic. When the movie ended, I was thinking, oh, that was it? I also thought Zurg being Buzz from the future was kind of weird and poorly explained. When I initially saw the movie, I didn't quite grasp how that was possible, but then upon viewing it again, I think I was able to understand that what happened is that Buzz from the future, aka Zurg, came back in time, and that's how there were two of them. Still doesn't really make sense to me, and if it doesn't make sense to me as an adult, then I think there's probably a lot of kids that are confused about this too. In Toy Story 2, there is a scene where Zurg claims to be Buzz's father in a word-for-word parody of Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back.
Surrender, Buzz Lightyear. I have won.
I'll never give in. You killed my father.
No, Buzz. I am your father.
And I think that by making Zurg in the Lightyear movie be Buzz from the future, it furthers some people's assumptions that this scene from Toy Story 2 was more of a joke and not literal. That being said, I think it would have been way cooler if Zurg was Buzz's dad and they had kind of played on that and gone a similar route to Luke and Darth Vader. Lightyear director Angus MacLane actually said that he experimented with Zurg being Buzz's father, but it didn't work very well, and I can kind of see why. It would definitely definitely change the plot of the movie, but I don't know. I think they should have made it work. And then the final thing is the movie didn't really seem like much of an origin story to me. It was more of just a story. We didn't really learn anything about Buzz that we didn't already know. We heard very little about his childhood, and they also never really explained why the team at the beginning of the movie was traveling through space looking for an inhabitable planet. The way it ended makes me wonder if they're thinking about making a sequel, and maybe they would explain more about Buzz Lightyear's origins in a sequel. But I just don't think that this was much of an origin story. But despite the flaws, I thought the animation was very beautiful, high quality, on par for Pixar, and I thought Chris Evans did a great job with the voice acting for Buzz. I think he really captured Buzz's character. And then also, while I did make the comment about it not really being an origin story, I did think there was pretty good character development all around, especially for Buzz, and I think we saw him change throughout the movie. We saw him grow. So overall, I think I would give this movie a 6.5 out of 10. It wasn't the worst, but I think there was just a lot of things that could have been done differently. But I'm interested to hear what your thoughts were. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.